I'm so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what? I saw Elon Musk dancing once, and I feel like I need to be like him. So
But what I love about Elon Musk is he wants to put a veggie garden on Mars, right?
yeah,
That's
it's
the
pretty
aim.
cool, right?
And he wants to do it so that he can inspire humanity to know that anything's possible. So with mission statements like that, it's kind of hard not to get behind the guy, right?
Yeah,
But that's
that's
not
going
what
to be
we're
a
talking about.
segue and a half. Let's not
I
roll
was
into
gonna
that. We'll
say,
talk about that later on.
that's not quite what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today is how to take or how to grow a six-figure digital marketing agency to seven figures. But before we get into that, welcome everybody to the Social Butterfly, where we go live each week talking about things like putting veggie gardens on Mars and taking agencies to seven figures, and a lot of other things in between, like marketing, socials, systems, how to take workloads off your hands and start giving them to teams, right? And all sorts of other things around how to grow businesses properly, right? It's not easy. It's hard to do it alone. I am always joined by Michael Clift, my business coach, who I would be lost without. Hi, Michael. He
Hi.
dances.
Hi.
Amongst his many talents, he dances and also helps businesses grow.
I don't know you can call dancing a talent, but anyway.
And I'm Katrina from Butterfly Media, and we are currently helping a lot of people take their social media to sales, working in that space. So hi, everyone. Welcome. If you've got any questions or comments, we are now live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and a couple of areas on Facebook. So hi, wherever you are streaming in from. Let's jump into it, Michael. Today, we're going to talk about growing a six-figure digital marketing agency to seven figures. And I preface this with last week, we did sort of chat around whether it's, just because you can doesn't mean you should. The $1 million shiny object syndrome. Should we actually grow to $1 million or not? So leaning into that, you've got a six-figure agency, digital marketing agency, growing into six figures. Over to you, Michael. How do we do it? Should we? And how do we do it?
Okay, cool. So we're going to operate on some assumptions, but just to set an expectation for what we'll roll through is there are multiple different ways. I'm not going to say there's a right way to do this. This is how I am doing this and we are doing this with our clients. So we've actually, over the past 12 months, we've taken 4 businesses from 6 figures to 7 figures. So it's like we're doing this one-to-one like this. It's been more than that, but that's the last 12 months. So from that point of view, sure, people have different opinions. This is how we're doing it. It works. We've got results. This is what's happening. I'm just going to run through the flow of what we would do, what it looks like, what areas we target into, and we'll go from there. You can ask me any questions along the way, and that'll get us kicked off. It's potentially
I'm
a
sure
long one today.
I'm sure I'll have some, but I'll let you go first.
So, from a why point of view, let's operate on the assumption that you have a greater reason that you actually want to have a 7-figure business. I would encourage you to have that because from a profit standpoint, potentially you can have the same kind of money as take-home earnings out of a 6-figure business as you would out of a 7-figure business. So you need a greater purpose because a 7-figure business potentially has a lot more issues than a 6-figure business. So that's a decision that I'll leave with the audiences to decide whether it's up for them or not. But let's operate on the assumption for today that right now we're looking at a digital marketing business that's doing, let's call it 252,000, and they have 14 clients. They're running a $1,500 a month offer doing social media marketing. So they're hitting about 21K a month. The reason that I've picked this is because this is a common thing that I come across.
Yeah.
And what happens is they're in a cycle of I get a client, I lose a client. I get a client, I lose a client. I get a client, I lose a client. And they're just in this period of let's call it stuckness. So that's what I want to talk about. And I'm just going to roll with it. So
it happens to a lot of businesses. You do get to that point,
absolutely.
right? You have attrition. You can't hold on to the client for whatever reason. It's just like you get to that point, don't you? So it's not just digital agencies, but this is your great example. So keep going.
So here's the first things that I need to talk about because here's why I found that you get stuck. And if it's me, I'm in there. I can almost guarantee why I'd be stuck. Is the first thing is I'm still in there trying to do the thing. So I'm caught up in delivery, right? Now, you can't necessarily just rip yourself straight out of delivery, but you need to start working towards being pulled out of delivery, is the first part of it, because basically your head is under the water and you can't see what direction you're going in.
It's a massive step,
So,
that one.
so absolutely. And I'm transitioning from my role to becoming the person that builds and supports the team and then is being the face of the business and is the one that's closing the sales. Because that way I can set up the team to do delivery and then I can be at the forefront, bringing more people in, doing more sales calls so that I can lock those people in and we can build up the client base. So what for most people, what they're going to see when I say that is go, okay, cool. Growth is linear. So if I've got a $1,500 a month offer, I need to go and get myself another 3 times what I have now to go from 21K to 84K.
Totally right.
That is,
that's
yeah, because it just seems like the way to do it, right?
Yeah.
That is not how I would do it.
Yep.
And it is an option. I have found that is potentially a harder way to do it. And I don't like to do it that way.
It's interesting. It is an option though, isn't it? You can just do more.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just do more.
Hmm.
Like, that is an option. It's potentially a hard option.
What's the easier option?
Or what I find the easier option is let's say there's 8 strategies that I'm going to work on over 12 months. And I'm aiming to get a 20% increase over each of those strategies, which will get me to over 7 figures. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm still live or whether I've lost Katrina or where we're at. So I'm going to keep talking and we will go back if I'm not still live. So, all right. You still with me? Did you get that?
No. I was waiting the option and the internet cut out. That'd be right.
Okay, so I don't actually know if the audience heard that, so I'm just going to take a step back, right? And the step back is there's 8 strategies that I'm going to work on over the next 12 months so that I can get to 7 figures.
Okay.
And I'm going to aim to get a 20% increase in each of those areas. Or at least.
So instead of going and doing more, so I missed that. Instead of going and doing more, now we are looking into 8 different strategies rather than just selling more and making more.
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
great. Yep.
And I'll do a breakdown of what each of those are. And growth isn't necessarily linear. There's things that we can do along the way that will just compound on what we're doing. And 20% sounds like a lot. It's not actually a lot. So there's 8 areas. I'm just going to run through each of them one by one. So the first thing that I would start with is working on what I call a market dominating position. And that's how am I showing up and positioning myself as the only option for my clients. Ideally, I want to be in a category by myself. Obviously, that's easier said than done, but that's what I want to move towards. Now, that doesn't have to be overnight, but if people see me more in a category of my own and it's 20% more than what it was, that's going to give us a good increase by itself. So how am I the only? So there's things that I'm going to look at. So the first one is I really want to get down the rabbit hole on who we serve. What are those people? Like people get a little bit scared because of niching and they're like, oh, but what if I have someone that comes in front of me and I might miss out on customers and stuff like that. Just because you niche doesn't mean you can't take on other clients. What it does do is it sets you up with a decision making process where you go, am I taking on this person for what reason? And is it fit in with what I'm trying to achieve? Why I want to know who we serve is because then I can clearly understand what the problem they're facing is. I can align the solution that we have to be the ideal solution for their problem for them. I can then talk about how it's different from other options and why it's best fit for them. And then I want to, like, obviously, if you want to be really good and really have it like narrowed down, I want to have a statement that I can articulate in like 30 seconds of why I am the best option for them.
That's beautiful. The elevator pitch.
And like, this is ad hoc. This isn't going to be great. It could be as simple as we are the people that get financial planners clients day in day out, guaranteed.
Yeah, it's
Like,
clear, isn't it?
Yeah. So, and a financial planner looks at it and goes, "Oh, okay, this is a social media agency I need because they're for me and they get us clients day in day out." Now, obviously, you may need to tweak that. I just came up with that as a random thing off the top of my head. So, like, we haven't had any time to brainstorm that. Just want to preface that. Okay. The next step after I do that, now, obviously, there's a bit of work that goes into that, and I've just run through that relatively quickly. But that's to give the initial path because we only have so much time, right? Then I want to look at my digital marketing. As a digital marketer, if I'm out there telling people I'm going to do the thing and I'm showing people how to do the thing and I'm doing the thing for them, I need to be there showcasing that I can do the thing.
You need to be doing the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important because you see people online all the time. If you want to be different, don't be that person that has 200 followers on like Instagram, for example, when there's people that have hundreds of thousands of followers going, "Hey, this is what we do. I will get you to 50,000 followers." Because straight away the person's going to go, "Well, no, you're not. Otherwise, you would have got yourself to 50,000 followers."
Yeah.
There's break in trust there. So here's what I would be doing is I would be turning my social media channels into a funnel.
Oh, you're saying the right words.
Yeah. So I want to target all elements of the buyer's journey. So I want to set it up, and this is the way I do it. I create content that's going to hit the awareness phase, which is where they understand what, like, they've got a problem and what that problem is and who we are. So there's attention, there's talking about the problem, there's not me doing dances on social media because no one wants to see that, but there's me engaging and drawing them in because they want to know more about what it is. And like, one of the things, and this is something that I'm doing in like starting to do, and I literally recorded the first video for this. It's just as an idea to bring people in is I'm going to help 1,000 businesses over 1,000 days solve their business problems.
Yeah.
So I'm creating a bingeable content special for my channels that people are going to see, and it's going to bring them in. So that's where the attention is, right? So we've got the awareness phase, and then we want to warm them up. And the warming them up is really, I mean, you talk about this a lot. We have a lot of this, so I'm not going to go into super detail, but I want to create it so that I'm giving them a ton of value. So for the people that can go do the thing, they just go do the thing. But what it actually does is it allows people to see my expertise. It allows me to help them before they pay me. And then it also lets them go, "Oh, I really like this person." And sorry, you go.
I just want to chime in with the value content, right? Because I think there could be some confusion out there when we're talking about creating valuable content or content that gives value. It's not information overload, which is what the internet is, right? It's incredible the amount of information that's out there, and it's hard to choose. So if we, as you say, niche in, we can provide valuable content to that market only. So it's not noise, it's value. So it's just not delivering information and knowledge for the sake of it. It's delivering value to that client. So it's just, I just wanted to clear that up because I think it can be a little bit confusing out there with all of the knowledge sort of content that's out there.
It could be as like, not How-to guides were good, not as exciting anymore for people, but it could be simply as something as, do I do this or this? And then here's the filter that you use, right?
Yeah, or how
That
I do
that
this.
warming could that warming could be, here's where we are now. This is what we're working on. This is what we're doing.
Yeah,
That
that's right.
it can just be client stories, right? As well. So, and then the last part to that, and I'm focusing on this bit a bit more than some of the other areas because this is really important, right? Like you need to have your socials pumping if you're a digital marketing agency. It's just really important. Is the conversion part of it, and this is where we're getting them to take the next steps with us. And this is probably not just for digital marketers, but it is digital marketers as well. They can do digital marketing for other people, but they struggle a little
Mhm.
bit with themselves because it's no different to everyone else. It's easy to look at other people and go, oh, you should do this. But when we look at ourselves, a little bit tougher, is just having the way that I'm really big on storytelling for this. It's about, here's what someone has experienced, here's the challenge they have, here's what they were feeling, here's what working with us did to help them get through that, and this is what we did to do it. And then if you need help with this is the next steps for you with us,
Yeah,
as a
it's
very
it's
basic framework.
it's a soft case study, isn't it? It's just not. It's an informal case study, and it just tells people what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, this is how
And
we
look,
did it. Your words.
yeah, and we
Nothing
can do
formal.
other things. And yeah, absolutely. And we can do other things with that. Like I would be, if I'm on Instagram and Facebook, I'd be running stories every day that are literally just like, I'm looking for businesses that are doing this, or we have this going on, or whatever it is, because that's an opportunity for people just to sell things, right? Like, and that's what that space sort of is for right now, in my opinion. The really important thing to back all of that up is we want to have the same message as to where we're directing people for a channel, right? So let's say on LinkedIn, I only want people going to one place.
Mhm.
It could be the same place that I send them to on Facebook. Maybe it doesn't necessarily, but effectively, I want, and like we talk about this a lot, is I want all roads to lead to Rome. And the reason why is I don't want any confusion, because confusion creates friction and stops people from doing the thing. I just want them all going to the one place. And then what I want to do is, ideally, I want it to be a call. Because the
Yeah.
easiest way for you to, like, and I'm going to talk about creating an offer and increasing prices in a minute, but as we're selling something at a higher, let's call it higher ticket, we want to be on a call because like we want to pre-clarify people before, like qualify people beforehand, but we really want to get them to that call because it's important. Because it allows us to talk to them, see if we actually want to work with them, because it's difficult working with someone who's like a client in that space if they're not going to be right fit. So that's where I want to get them to. The other part that I would tie into that is having some form of outreach DM strategy in place, and that may be when someone views my profile or comments or like whatever I pick, to get people to calls as well.
That's where the gold is.
Yeah, because you effectively, if you think about it, as like the social and like digital marketers knows, I'm telling them how to suck eggs, but I'm going to rehash it. Like, the goal for the content is to create the conversation. It's to
Yeah.
help people go through that buyer's journey. It's help pre-qualify people, and then the outreach is to take them to the next step, which is to book a call. So it's to help say, hey, I'm here. I can help you out. What problem do you have? Yep, cool, awesome. We can do that. Let's hop on a call. We can sort that out. And it can be as simple as something, because someone looks on your profile and you send them a, hey, great to see you. Send them a connection request at the same time. Are you just here for content, or is there something that I can help with?
Totally. There's a lot you can do on
So,
LinkedIn. A lot. Powerhouse.
there's so once I have that in place, I want to start looking at having a compelling offer.
Yeah.
And like so I'm not talking about what is my offering overall and what do we do and everything like that. I want something that is going to lock someone into taking action.
Love it.
I've got to work out what is the best fit for that for me. So the idea behind the offer is it's powerful enough to cut through any reservations that they have, and that's what it's about. Like, because there's a lot of people out there doing the thing, and they're skeptical and all that. So we want to make sure we've got something that's going to cut through that. And it could be something as simple as a free offering. It could be a paid low ticket offering. I am a huge fan of the let's get them results in 90 days and put money in their pocket offer, especially in the digital marketing space, because everyone can give away a book, everyone can give away a lead magnet, and most of them never get read. Most of them are rubbish. It is important that we get them into our email database, right? But if we want to grow fast, we want to have an offer as well. I'll talk about the email stuff afterwards. But so part of that offer, which I think is really important, is we want to have risk reversal when it comes to objections. And then we want to really make people go, wow, I want this. I need this.
It's actually going to solve my problem, right? That's what you want. It's going to solve a problem.
So let's talk about the offer that we're running for you right now that we worked on. That is working. In fact, what have we got in the last couple of weeks? We've got not even a couple of weeks. We've got 3 clients on it.
Yep.
Yeah. So do you want to just run through it quickly, or do you want me to?
Sure. So my current offer is we'll take your socials to sales, where we will bring you in 8 new clients in 90 days. And if we don't, we will continue to work for free until we do. And in that time, we've brought in 3 clients on that offer. It's been incredible. So it's using organic content and organic outreach to bring in 8 clients. I need everybody, or I need the people that I work with to have a 2,000 or so following. But having said that, we have just signed someone that doesn't. So now we run at getting that following onto that account. And then we use the DMs and content to bring in sales. And working last night, I've just brought in 2 solid leads for our first client. And they did say to me, it's looking good. So I could have in a week my first sale down. So that's the offer. So it solves a lot of problems. It's like, okay, number one, it's not a standard social media offer. It's a sales delivery offer, and it's solving people's problems. It's bringing them in 8 new clients in 90 days. It's changing the game for them. And we're so far loving it. That's the offer.
And here's the thing is when we've done that offer too, we've gone, okay, how are we building this out? Well, what is 8 clients worth to someone? Right. So we went and broke that down, and we're targeting in people that have clients that are worth, $4K a client. Suddenly when they sign up and it's $7,500 for 90 days, I believe you're breaking it down to payments as well. Yeah, sorry, we'll just do the little plug for your offer while we're here. But the great thing, and like one of the clients that you signed up, like every time they sign someone up, it's at least 10K a client, right?
Yeah.
We're going to have an absolute field day with that person.
I know. Like, it's exciting to get those sorts of results for people.
Yeah.
It changes things. It's just a different way to go to work, right? It's a different way to go to work, let alone for them. So for me, it's amazing. For them, it's incredible.
So,
and it's sitting there.
It's like, I know a lot of people don't like guarantees and everything like that, but guarantee something that you can do.
Yeah, not only
make sure that happens.
It makes you run at it, right? It makes you make it happen.
And people know you commit to it, right?
Yeah.
Like and you're actually like, the difference between people that guarantee and don't guarantee is that you can see that person believes that they can get the results. You might not believe if they can or not, and it just comes to whether that risk reversal is right fit for you. So if we create the environment where we know who we're talking to and we've worked out their problem, their solution, we understand how they buy because we know what they're like and the difference and everything like that. We've got a market dominating position. We set up our channel to funnel them through. Then we put that offer in front of them. It's pretty easy to sell that to them.
Yep. Particularly once you've been, looking at the content and hanging out with you for a while, or what however they've found you. And then obviously an offer like that, it makes people think and that's the thing, as you're saying with offers, and I say it to a lot of the people I speak with, if you create an offer, make it a no-brainer, make it stop the scroll, make it desirable. Make it an offer. No, it's not your product list, it's an offer.
So
if you can find one that's super valuable. Sorry,
absolutely.
keep going.
No, sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, as part of that offer, it takes me into the next part, which is increasing prices. When I'm building out that offer, because we're offering outcome based, and like we can get that, and then we get that consistently and deliver on that, we can actually increase our prices. And I'm just like, I will go through and add in the things that I need to do to increase our prices. If that means that I need to also give them a DM strategy that they can go and run off the back of any leads that we bring in, and it gives them some scripts and stuff like that that they can do for themselves, I'm going to do that, right?
Totally.
And then and if it means that I have to stack up the kit and be giving them the kitchen sink to start with, so I can build that up, because what you'll find is when we build out service offers, we tend to just start chucking things on to make it bigger and look good and shinier, and like that's great, but I'm really focused on what is going to get them the outcome. That's what I want to add in. If it doesn't add to the outcome, I don't care, because I'm selling on the outcome, not on all the things that I have shoved in there. So anything I put in there needs to add to that outcome. And then if you're increasing your prices, and I know I'm going to get pushback on that because, people can't afford it, stuff like that, because I hear it all the time. Cool. Don't put it in front of those people. Put it in front of the people that can actually pay. Right? And look, that's what we've done with your offer. We're putting it in front of people that effectively they sign one client in a month and their social media is paid for. And then we're going to ensure that they sign more than one client every month, and then we're an investment. And then because we'll be continually building on it and we're doing more than they were ever doing before, they get great results. And they're like, oh, it's actually really cheap to pay for marketing, right?
It's funny you say that when you and I first started with this offer, I was a bit nervous at finding the people that could afford it. My mindset was like, it's a bit high. I don't know whether they're out there. Who's going to buy it? All the scary questions that go through someone's head when they create in their mind a high ticket offer. And that's in my mind. In other people's minds, a $7.5K offer might not be a lot, right? But for me, I was stepping into that, and I'm like, well, where are these people? As I start talking to the people, and I know that the solution is way greater than the investment, it's almost too cheap. Right? It almost gets you there in the price. So you completely get used to the value of it and are comfortable speaking with the people that you end up speaking with. So it's just stages, isn't it, of getting used to things as you move through it.
So what I'm aiming to do initially from the person that's charging, let's call it $1,500, is to get them to at least $2,500 a month. Like, because that, and yes, I know it feels uncomfortable for some people and they don't like that. Honestly, that is like, to do decent social media marketing and like actually get people results and have them having a great outcome from it. That is the price, as far as I'm concerned, benchmark, almost minimum expectation that you should do.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Like that's how I feel about it. I know I'll get some pushback on that. Kind of don't care. No. That's your guys' beliefs, not mine. So
these days of social media are long gone now.
Yeah. So, well, you can do it, but it's not going to get you outcomes. You're just it's just going to give you a presence on there, and that's not what I'm trying to do, because I'm trying to build an agency that gets people outcomes as part of what we deliver on, so that we can build a bigger agency.
Yeah,
like that's what it comes down to. So that's the price point I'm targeting. For anyone that's like, how is this getting and stacking up? I actually have a calculator that I'm going to show you guys at the end so that we can see how these numbers all stack up. Okay. The next thing that I am going to look at doing, that I'm going to introduce, that is going to be different from what a lot of other people are doing, because Well, I'll say what it is and then I'll give the reasons why. So I'm going to introduce an upsell. And I'm going to do this because not everyone will take it up. But what it is going to do is it's going to bump up what I have to offer. And it's also going to increase the amount of money that I'm bringing in, right? And a significant upsell. So the upsell that I'm looking to introduce is actually going to be training the person to do their social media while actually doing their social media and aiming to hand it over to their business in 12 months. So, and that might not actually be like, because then if I'm doing that, I'm targeting bigger businesses. It's potentially not the founder or the owner or anything I'm doing that with. It may be their marketing person that I'm doing that with, and that's okay. Obviously, we'll need to have communication because of what we need for content and stuff like that. But if I do that, I'm going to charge that at what I believe the lifetime value of a customer is, because they are getting a lot of information out of me. Not only are they getting the thing done, I'm training their person to do it as well, which they can then continue to do for, let's call it, ever. I mean, social media changes, so like if they're not keeping up with it, they'll need more help later on down the track, and we can potentially consult to them, but we're not going to go down that track. But what it does mean is that I can then charge $7.5K a month for that, because I believe the lifetime value of a social media client is 3 years.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
So I would say if I had 30 clients, I maybe have 2 on that offer. It might be more because potentially no one else is doing it, because it's definitely something that a lot of agencies are going to be scared to do. Right? Because, I'm giving away the keys to the kingdom. I'm not doing the thing. I'm okay with that. Right? So that's because the people that can do it and can learn it are going to find the way anyway, because the information is free. So
completely.
why not be the one that trains them? Right?
Yeah, totally.
So how I would do that is I would package that up with, I have a weekly meeting teaching about content creation, planning, strategy, utilizing the platform, market research, and effectively everything that they'll need to take over, as well as then the delivery. Now, obviously, I wouldn't be delivering on it. The team would be delivering on it, but like we've got to have some form of correlation there. And then I would just have support for them via like WhatsApp and email. So when they need to send a message and they need to send an email or something to that, just because you do need to have that layer of support. So that in itself, if I got 2 people on that offer, you look at that 75. So we're roughly looking at 290K clients a year.
Off
So
that.
that's like 180K right there.
Yeah. All right. I was just going to say, we're going to do a recap on the math. Are we there yet?
Yeah, well, I am at the end.
Okay, no worries. We're not there yet. We're still growing.
What I'm going to do at the end is I'm going to take it back and I'm going to show you what a 20% increase in each of these looks like.
Okay, all right.
And do it that way. So,
settle down. Not there yet.
Okay. There's 3 more things to go, right?
Okay.
So the next thing that I want to do is I want to offer additional products. And how I want to do that is I want to offer things that complement what I am doing that's going to get them a better outcome and they need as part of their marketing strategy. Because social media content is only part of their marketing strategy, right? So there's other things that they are going to need long term. It's not that social media won't get them started. So now, because I'm focused on building out my agency and my people and doing the things, I don't actually want to deliver on those products myself, because I want to focus on the team becoming the best they can possibly be at delivering results for clients on social media marketing.
Yeah.
So I want to start looking at, which will come in later on, but I'll talk about them afterwards, but I want to look for other businesses that can deliver on email marketing, can build lead magnets, can implement CRMs, can do website builds, can do SEO, can do appointment setting, automation, branding, photography, video editing, ads. I don't even need every single one of them, but I want to start building that out, because the more of that I have, the more when I have a client and they need a thing, I've got, oh, I've got a guy, we do this, right?
Totally.
And then we just have the solution. So the key is I don't want to deliver on it, right? I want to be able to set it up, and I'll talk about that. In fact, I'll start doing it now. I want to build up these joint ventures, right, with different companies. I've got to build the relationships. I want to get agreements in place, whether it's we white label that service or we on sell that service on their behalf. That's what I want to be doing, but in a way that's providing a greater solution for my client. Not just because I make
Yeah.
money, I'll make that anyway. It's just to provide that better solution for the client. So to do that, I'm then looking for people that are obviously digital marketers as well, but they have different areas of expertise. I'm looking to have relationships. Well, actually, let me break it down with the people that work with my clients before me, same time as me, and after me. So the ones that work before me are the marketing strategists, the accountants, the business coaches, people like that, because they're the ones that can potentially go, you're not really, you don't really have the setup that you need to generate business or exposure or whatever that may be. Here's the person that we use that can help you out. So they're bringing people to me. Then with the services, the people that are working with them at the same time as me, they're the digital marketers, right? And they're the guys that I build the relationships with to deliver on the other products. And ideally, it's either referral partnerships or joint ventures. If you can build joint ventures better, it's a little bit more solid, and that's just where you have an agreement between the two parties. The last thing that I would want to look at is the people that have the services after me. So that's HR, so that if they have challenges or they need new employee contracts or anything like that, we can get that sorted out. It's the recruiters. So if they're starting to go, oh my God, we've got too much work going on, and rather than them slowing down their marketing, and like that's the bane of digital marketing agencies, that marketing getting switched off, right? Like, hey, what if is there an opportunity to grow here? What if I can put you in front of someone who can get you more people? Because it's a hard thing for people right now, right? And then the other thing is, the other bane for a digital marketing agency, which is like a big barrier, is if they can't convert clients. So I want to make relationships with sales trainers, so that if someone's struggling with sales, no worries. I've got a guy or gal or whoever that is. Let's get you set up with them, because they're going to increase your conversion rates, right?
I got lots of guys and gals.
Yeah,
by the sounds of your list, it's fantastic.
and then, so the last area, and look, I would suggest that most people do this haphazardly, right? And that's whether you call it a drip campaign, email marketing, whatever it is for us, it's having a lead magnet that allows us to capture emails so that we can send emails ongoingly to, and it's really about, here's what's working in marketing now. Here's my thoughts on this. Here's something that I came across that sort of stumped one of our clients. Maybe it'll help you out, right? It's that kind of stuff. And I would then just, my offer, I'd be putting it out once a month.
To the list, you mean?
Yeah, to the list. So I weekly, I would be helping them. Once a month, I'd put out the offer. And the people that don't want to hear it will just unsubscribe, right? So for me to then build that up, I need to make sure that I've got a value-packed lead magnet. And I would just be looking to make it as, basically, it gives them everything that they need to go and do it for themselves.
Yeah.
Because if they can do it for themselves, they can find that information anywhere. So it's better that they get that information from me as a trusted person, because then I'm already helping them before they pay me. And chances are, out of anyone that they're going to turn to if they want support, or like they get too busy to do it for themselves, oh yeah, well, I used all the things that Michael said, I'm going to go to him.
Yeah, totally.
So, exactly. And the problem with most lead magnets is they're shit in the politest way possible. And they're wasting people's time, right? And time is more valuable than money. and you want people to sign up and read your thing that's rubbish that's been generated by ChatGPT by 50 other people with a different label on it. Yeah, that's not ideal. So, do you have any questions while I quickly get my calculator up and we
Yeah, when do we get started? I know we already have.
what do you think we're doing?
So questions are, I'm always big on summary, right? Just bringing all the dots in. So you're saying instead of just saying, I'm sitting at 250K a year right now, I want to get to $1 million, instead of selling more, right? You're saying, let's step it back and look internally and just take a look at what we can do with 8 different strategies, which is one around market domination or market dominating position, which is like, who do you serve, target problems, your solution, understanding all of that. Then turning your own socials into a funnel, which I love. So the content is the top of the funnel. Hey, this is where we're at. We're going to agitate. We're going to get to know each other. Then it brings you down into a DM sequence, which says get on a call generally. So that's using social media on purpose with a compelling offer that's a no-brainer, or one that's literally like, I've got to like look at this and maybe take this person up on it because it's amazing. Then the other option is, so that's one way, right? So rather than just doing more, it's more about narrowing in. And then the next one you're saying here is increase your prices. So rather than doing more,
do you want me to run through the 8? Is that, yeah? Do you want me to quickly run through the 8? Yeah. So if we just looked at the 8, and remember, I'm looking to do a 20% increase, which I've just got the thing up, so I'm going to pull this up. And in fact, let me pull it up, and then I can run through the 8 with it in front of people, right? So,
okay, great.
Can you please give me? I don't know how
you should be able to. Oh, okay, I can share it. So when you pop it up,
I'm just looking.
This is the best tool too. I love this tool.
Yeah, this is my little favorite tool. If anyone ever comes and sits down with me for 15 minutes, you get to see this tool. So, all right, cool. We can see. So this is the profit acceleration simulator that we have, right? So this is a lovely little thing here. We have annual revenue, which is $252,000. Yeah, we have. I've just put in gross profit and net profit. So 65% is probably about right, let's call it. For gross profit, net at 250, 20% is probably like pretty good, let's say. So from this point of view, we've got our areas. In this software, you can go up to 40 areas. We're only going to talk about 8 today. If anyone wants to run through it and see what it looks like for their business, hit me up and we'll do it for your business. I am going to tweak some things really quickly while we are talking so that this is up and running. Just make sure that I get everything that I actually spoke about in here.
I love this tool.
Oh, okay. So let's run down them. So when we look at, there's 8 areas that I'm looking at, and we've got market dominating position. A 20% increase in market dominating position, bearing in mind this is net profit, would add 32,000 in net profit to the business. Then here's where it gets interesting, because when we work in multiple areas, we actually get compounding effects because we're basing it off the back of other things as well. So it's not just 1 plus 1, it's actually 1 plus 1.2. And then we're compounding on top of that, right? So when we then do our compelling offer, we add an extra $39,000 into the business in profit. So I know we're talking profit now. I'll get to revenue at the end, but I want to talk profit because that's what actually matters. Then when I go through and increase prices by 20%, which is $72,000 extra into the business. We then introduce our upsell, and this is super conservative because I have priced it higher than this. It's an extra $56,000.
Wow.
When we go to additional products and services, which someone else is delivering on for us at 20%, it's an extra $67,000 in profit. When we go through drip campaign or email marketing, whatever we want to call it, and we get a 20% increase there too, that's an extra $81,000.
All right.
We start adding in referral partners, our joint ventures, all that good jazz at another 20%. That's an extra $97,000. By the time we get to here, and now we would have done our digital marketing earlier, it's just the flow, but an extra 20%, it's an extra $117,000. Now these numbers go up like that because of compound. So overall, profit-wise, we've actually added $565,000 in profit to that business. That's bottom line profit. Now, I would suggest if you were growing that fast, you're going to have to allocate some of those resources to people and to systems to make sure that you can grow that fast without your head melting.
Yeah.
But still, that's massive and it gives you resources to play with. So when we have a look at that, doing those things and getting a 20% increase, original revenue is 252,000. We increased our revenue by 831,000, and suddenly we're at $1.8 million. Now,
wow,
that is a big 12 months. For transparency,
yeah,
that is going to be hectic. It's doable, but it's going to be big. There's going to be a lot of things. There's a lot of focus. If you try, like, it's hard to do by yourself. I'd suggest if someone wants to do it that fast, they should get some help doing that. But it is doable, and you don't have to do it in 12 months. Is the other thing. But if you kept getting consistent increase, the profit goes up massively.
it's incredible what a small tweak can do.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? Small tweak here and there. So you focused on 8 areas. So rather than right at the start where you had a $1,500 a month product that you were going to do more of, instead you've increased the price of it and then how you go about sending it and just tightened up on certain areas and brought in other people. And you're not actually doing more work per se. It's not like you have to go and do more to make more. You just do better with what you've got. And obviously you might bring in more clients, but you can do it because you've got one of the constraints, which is cash flow. It's just freed up a little bit to help you.
Well, we're just making the money.
Yeah.
Like that's
right.
We're making the cash flow to do that. So if we decided we wanted to do something faster and we wanted to get more eyeballs quicker and we wanted to go spend, $50K on ads, $50K on ads does a bit of stuff for you, especially at that level, right?
We can talk about that one another day.
Yeah, right. So, and all of this is without spending any money on marketing or advertising at all.
Yeah, so that's the interesting thing. You're not spending any money. You're just doing things differently and better.
Yeah. You are spending time.
Yeah.
So if you want to shortcut your time, obviously that's when you can spend money to have other people's time.
Oh, that's always a nice thing to do. But then if you do have to spend the time, it's focus time, right? So then as long as you're not just wasting time, and that's one thing that we can really fall prey to as business owners, is just doing the wrong things rather than the right work, which is probably a conversation for another day that you and I can get into because it's pretty powerful. So that's how you take a low 6-figure digital marketing agency to $1 million in 12 months.
And look, and I understand that not every digital marketing agency is set up like that. We can just do it differently, right? For different businesses. There's not necessarily a right or wrong way to do it, but that's how I'm doing it with clients and we're getting results. And not just digital marketers either. This really translates across service businesses, which is why I work with service-based businesses, because we can take this and we can translate it and make it industry specific.
Yeah, it's a different ballgame, service to products. It's just a different way to sell things. It's different thinking around it. Well, I don't even know what to say. I know I'm going to rewatch this.
So, I
Fantastic.
guess here's my offer to anyone that's just looked at that and gone, "Oh my god, I want to see more." If you want my notes that I have for this session, that just has the bullet points of everything I just talked about, hit me up. I'll send you a copy. If you want a link to the software that I just showed you, so you can go play with your own numbers, hit me up. I'll send you the link. You can just go play with it. If you would like me to run through it with you, hit me up. We'll catch up 15 minutes, can run through, have a chat. And if you want more support from there, awesome. If you don't, not a problem.
All right. That sounds like a great coffee. Coffee in the making, right? Wow. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for sharing the steps involved. And it's literally steps, isn't it? Do this, do this, do this.
Absolutely.
Cut this out. And then, I'm going to be a bit biased and say it's always good to have a business coach to talk to. It's always good to have Michael to talk to. And unlike other business coaches, I'm going to say it out loud, unlike other business coaches, he will sack you if you don't do the work. But also, I think he helps you do the right work. So I find the changes that we've had inside my business in the last 6 months are incredible. And I am doing completely different work with a completely different mindset. So, and you're not even a mindset coach. You actually say it out loud. You go, can't sort out the mindset, but let's go do the things. Right?
It's just part and parcel of it. Like it's really funny is like, my version of that is, well, we just have to sort that out as part of what we're doing. You have a problem, let's fix it. I think for anyone who's like, oh, I do all of those amazingly, that's awesome. There's another 28 strategies that we use, right?
And that's just $1 million. Let's keep going, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I use it with businesses that are bigger than $1 million, and to be quite honest, it's easier because those smaller increases at a higher dollar amount are such a bigger increase.
It's going to be a great 12 months, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
All right, well, that's it for today, team. If you've got any questions, as usual, drop in the comments. Catch up with Michael at Venture Cultivation Coaching, but also on all of the LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube connections. If you'd like me to introduce you to him, by all means, just yell out, just reach out. You know where to find me in all the usual spots. And we'll be back next week with another unpacking. We're not sure what yet, but if you are in an industry that you want unpacked in a certain way, so whether it's business growth, marketing growth, you have got an area in it that you'd like to talk about. Maybe it's systems, hiring, maybe VAs. A lot of people talk to me about that space. Anything around that, by all means, drop it in the comments, let us know. And also if you'd like to appear, if you'd like to come on with us and have a chat about anything that's happening in your world, let's do that. Thank you for joining us, Michael, this week. You're going to say something? No?
I actually was. I was just going to say probably the thing that I didn't touch on is that I made an assumption that people at that point either had a couple of VAs or had a team member to back them up. I would suggest if you're getting that big, get a couple of team members, whether they're local or they're outsourced, to back you up. Ideally, you probably want 2 to 3 to do the delivery.
Yeah, you need to get out of delivery. It's a game changer. Massively. Okay. Absolutely. Let's talk about all of those things next week. Have a good week, everybody. Enjoy the short one, and we'll catch you next Thursday at usual time, wherever you are. I'm going to say 1 o'clock Sydney time. The clock's actually changed this week, so throws me out for a bit. I don't know what time it is for about 5 minutes. I need Google to tell me, and then I'm good again, right? So we just need to get to Sunday, and I'll see you 1 p.m. Sydney time, I think. I have to find out whether it works for Michael now. So anyway,
yeah,
see you next week.
We'll figure that out. We'll be back to you.